Hello everyone and welcome to the sixth form update for the January 2022 Parent Forum. My name's Mr. Smith and I'm one of the school's assistant heads, and also giving you this presentation will be Mrs. Schilling, who is the head of sixth form.
Hello, this is Mrs. Schilling, head of sixth form. I wanted to introduce to you this phrase at the top of the slide here. This is what we're aiming for alongside all of the academic qualifications in school. We're hoping to turn your sons and daughters into well-rounded and grounded human beings who are prepared to take up their place in society after school, whichever route they take. To that end, both Year 12 and Year 13 will undertake a character and culture lesson regularly, and these are the issues that we address in those lessons. Point number 2 here, destinations post 18. A lot of the work that we do, and we're well on the way with the Year 13 currently, is to highlight the possibilities beyond sixth form. And it's not just an either university or apprenticeship option. You'll see here that we prepare our young people for a number of different possibilities and suggest that they do a lot of research to find out what's involved. You will notice, quite glad to notice probably, that there is no option on that list there to sit in your bedroom and do nothing. So we do encourage them to consider what is the right route for them, do the necessary research, and then we help them and guide them into making those applications. Now, because the deadline for the higher education, the university admissions, is that much earlier than everything else, that's all they will have heard us banging about so far, about Year 13, UCAS applications and so on. As we reach the 26th of January deadline, that will die away, and then the focus will be on more of the other options. It's important that regardless of option, the student undertakes a lot of research to find out what they think it is that's the right route for them. Sometimes you have to make some hard decisions. Sometimes you have to choose something that your friend is not going to do, because at the end of the day, this is your career. In school, as you know, we have some well-practiced support strategies that we have in place. We analyse the data that we collect after tests and assessments and mock exams and so on, and then we decide what strategies we can put in place to help support students. One of the ones we've gone for this year in quite a big way is to add extra supervised study sessions. We all know that teenagers will sit and do nothing if they have the option for the most part. But if they're given some guidance, some extra work, and a place to go and do it, and a timetable that says when they have to be there, the chances are most of them will engage with it. And the idea is that we are supporting their performance in a particular subject in order for them to try and get better outcomes. So some of your sons and daughters will have been coming home complaining that they've got extra study lessons on their timetable. And it's not a punishment, it's actually a support strategy that we employ that's actually shown to be really, really useful in the past. For Year 13, the pressure is now building towards their second lot of pre-public examinations. That's a trendy name for mock exams. They will start after the half term. We've moved those exams back because we want to wait until the government announcement on the 7th of February, which is going to outline, it is alleged, what the summer exams are going to look like. Our job will be to try and replicate in our final lot of PPEs what those summer exams are going to look like, and try and make sure that the exams that they sit then will mirror more or less what they're going to have in the summer. So there's a lot of hard work ahead on our part, but the students should be starting to undertake their revision timetable now and be quite proactive with preparing for those summer exams. All students have received information from their subjects about how to do this, where to access the information. Okay, so Year 12 update. We started the year in their EPQ lessons looking at a strategy which is called VESPA. Each of the letters VESPA stand for a particular aspect, and all of these aspects combined, if we work on them, hopefully will enable the student to become an independent, proactive, resilient learner who will achieve highly. So it is suggested that if you have a vision of where you want to go, that is going to help you. If you have a certain number of hours dedicated, hours is the measurement of effort you're making. If you have systems and ways of doing things, if you've got access to the right resources, that will help you. If you do the right practice, and this is where a lot of students fall down, because for most of their GCSEs, their Key Stage 4 work, it's been very much copying out, rewriting things out of the textbook, and I'm afraid that doesn't cut it at A-level. At A-level, it's got to be more answering exam questions, learning the material so that you can change the structure and the format of it in order to answer the question in a certain way. You can only do that with regular practice. So practice is important. Attitude is a really interesting one. I was so delighted on the gate the other day when I was greeting some students at first thing in the morning, and one of them had got a really positive result from a resit in an English GCSE, and I said, "Oh, well done, that's fabulous." And the answer was, "Yeah, that was all very well and good, but I'd really like to see if I can get a better grade, so can I do some more lessons and try it again and try and get a better grade?" And that's the development of what we would call the growth mindset. So instead of just making do, they're saying, how can I be better? That was really good, but how can I get it even better? That resilience is what's going to really support these students as they go through the rest of their course. As with the Year 13s, we have recently had end of topic tests and such like, and some data that's gone in on the system before Christmas, which has suggested to us where some students might need some extra supervised study periods. So this is a supportive a supportive strategy that we use in order to give the students some independent learning time outside of the lesson, but directed by the subject. This tends to be very, very successful if the students engage with that. All the way through their courses, the students will be being monitored. Regular assessment, so for example in psychology we did an end of topic test last week. We're looking at the data now, and if that's a massive change from what was put on the school system before Christmas, the reports of which you received in terms of data, then we'll be making contact with parents and letting them know. Hopefully a lot of the other subjects will do the same as we progress through the course. At the end of the year, we'll see what we would used to call mock exams, which is now called pre-public examinations. But before then, a lot of the subjects will have actual real exams. So if your son or daughter is studying, for example, applied science or applied criminology, they'll either have a real exam or a real non-examined assessment. These are really, really important. For example, in science, there are 3 exams for Unit 1, and if you don't pass all 3, you can't continue with the course. So it's really important that students are prepared for that. I referred to it at the start of this slide where we talked about in EPQ lessons, we've been looking at the VESPA model. EPQ is the Extended Project Qualification. We've added that lesson to timetables for Year 12. We've started off with independent study skills and developing the study skills that are necessary to be successful as a level 3 learner. We're having a couple of weeks of looking at work-related learning so that we can lead into work experience and finding a placement and so on. But then from here onwards, those that want to can sign up to and undertake an extended project, which is an extra qualification. It's the equivalent of half an A-level. And this project can be undertaken in any particular subject, within reason. It just can't mirror or copy anything you're already studying in your A-level subjects. So, for example, if you wanted to go to university and study physics, You could choose an element of physics that you wanted to study further that isn't covered by your A-level specification, and you could undertake an EPQ, and that means that you do a lot of individual research. You write a 5,000 word essay predominantly, and you demonstrate your ability to work independently by producing that, synthesizing information from a number of different areas like academic texts, for example. Now, if you're going to apply to university, that's a really good idea because you can demonstrate how interested you are in what it is you're applying for. However, it is also possible for you to undertake an extended project qualification just because you're interested in a particular thing and you want to study it further. That's absolutely fine. Mr. Smith is going to continue on the next slide, and he's going to talk a lot about work-related learning and work experience. It is expected that everybody in Year 12 will find themselves a placement. So please, if you know of anybody, if you have any members of the family or family friends who have a scenario where they would welcome a work experience person, please let us know, or please let your son or daughter know. And if they can get themselves set up in that particular scenario and it's suitable for what they want to go on to in the future, then that's really, really excellent news.
As Mr. Shilling has already said, I want to take this opportunity to talk to you about work-related learning and also to reinforce the message about work experience. First of all, work-related learning, and I can tell you that all of the students in Year 12 have had the opportunity to have EPQ lessons that are focused on the range of opportunities that exist after they leave the sixth form. In particular, we've looked at the pros and cons of university, apprenticeships, degree-level apprenticeships, college courses, and taking a gap year. As we proceed through Year 12, we would expect the students to do some research. A platform that we like to use is Unifrog, though all of the applications to university will take place through a website called UCAS. And the screen in front of you is a screenshot of the school website. And as you can see, that there is a student grid, and in the student grid there will be a range of options that are entitled Careers and Further Education Resources. This is where the students need to go, for example on the Zello or on Unifrog, to try and find further information about the opportunities that are available for them after they leave the Deeping School. To conclude on this slide, I just want to remind you that work experience is during the week that begins the 11th of July 2022. Whilst the COVID pandemic prevented these students who are now in our Year 12 from going on work experience in Year 10, we would expect students to be able to source work experience placements for the summer of 2022. For those students that don't go on work experience, there will be some virtual online activities that we will put in place. But I have to say, our expectation, just as the expectation is for our current Year 10 students, that these placements will be self-sourced. Our careers coordinator, Mrs. Taylor, has lots of information, and the students have been given her details with regard to catching up and finding placements if they struggle to find placements themselves. Finally, and especially for parents and carers of pupils in Year 11, I'd like to give an update regarding sixth form applications. We were delighted to receive so many applications from our current Year 11 pupils, and just to confirm to you that our next steps will be to review those applications and to cross-reference the applications that students have made with their current predicted grades. Those grades are based on the PPEs that took place in the autumn term. When that process is completed, we will confirm our sixth form curriculum offer. This does mean that some subjects that have had relatively few applications may be removed from our offer, but more information of that will be given to pupils and to parents and carers in the very near future. When that process is complete, we'll work with Year 11 pupils. We will have meetings with each one of them, and we will discuss their future intentions in terms of career or university choices. We will talk to them about the subjects they've applied to do, and we'll talk to them about the process of joining the sixth form. Usually we have some induction lessons after the final GCSE exams, and look forward, when those GCSE results come in, to awarding places to students who've applied to our sixth form. Our offers then to the sixth form are based on predictions, and the places in the sixth form are based on the grades that students get. It is clear from our course guide that there are entry criteria. So there are general entry criteria for our A-level courses and our vocational courses. There are specific subject entry criteria, and it is important that pupils and parents and carers are aware of those when both applications and interviews take place. That's our sixth form update complete. If you do have any questions that you'd like to ask us, then feel free to contact us at the Deeping School through the sixth form office. We look forward to hearing from you.